नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष देशधारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम
राम राम राम हरे हरे।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो देव वासुदेवाय
वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय हरे कृष्णा. So we will continue from the ninth verse,
Yes.
18th chapter. Okay, let me project the slide. Sorry, I wasn't keeping it open. Yes. So conclusion, the perfection of renunciation is the chapter heading. We are going to go through quick overview based on the slide. So Krishna is speaking to Arjuna about the freedom from bondage through Karma Yoga. Basically, this chapter is a conclusion, right? In the conclusion, Krishna gives us an entire summary of the Bhagavad Gita, the summary of the entire Bhagavad Gita. And so many topics are there in Bhagavad Gita: Karma, Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti. This is a major topic. And the science of the soul, which is that soul's quality. The science of soul basically means the when you dissect a soul, what happens? Like, that's what is the size, what is the shape, what are the qualities, like that. That's a Sankhya. That's a Sankhya. So he explains Sankhya, he explains Karma, Jnana, Ashtanga, Dhyana, and then Bhakti. So many topics. So he's continuing on the same theme of Karma Yoga, because in the 17th chapter he concluded the divisions of faith. In the divisions of faith, everything came. The faith of a person in the three modes with respect to any activity he does, that is worship, charity, penance, um, I think like that. So in the same theme is continuing how one can become free from that. So if you do anything in those three activities, there is bondage. But the same activities, if it's done in how can it be done so that you're free from the bondage? That is, the activities have to be done, but the idea is to become non-bonded by that. So that's the theme. Right now, we are still going through. So last time he explained the 8th chapter, 8th verse, sorry. Mode of ignorance, basically. Anyone who gives up the prescribed duties as troublesome or out of fear of bodily discomfort is said to have renounced in the mode of passion. Such action never leads to the elevation of renunciation. So if one gives up the activities thinking it is just troublesome, I don't want to do, it's too much trouble. If that is the case, they're prescribed duties, basically. I cannot chant because it's too much trouble. I cannot take showers in the morning because it's too cold. Like that. Anything. So those are the prescribed duties, and it can be it can be in the mode of passion and renunciation, giving up. Now he talks about Sattvika. Sattvika is mode of goodness. Karyam iti eva yat karma niyatam kriyate arjuna sangam tyaktva phalam chaiva satyaga satviko mataha. Synonyms: karyam, it must be done; iti, thus; eva, indeed; yat, which; karma, work; niyatam, prescribed; kriyate, is performed; Arjuna, O Arjuna; sangam, association; tyaktva, giving up; phalam, the result; cha, also; eva, certainly; saha, that; Tyagaha, renunciation, Satvikaha, in a mode of goodness, Mataha, in my opinion. Translation and purports by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. O Arjuna, when one performs his prescribed duty only because it ought to be done and renounces all material association and all attachment to the fruit, his renunciation is said to be in the mode of goodness. So the work that has to be done only as a duty, prescribed duty, because it is ought to be done. It is only as a matter of fact, matter of duty, and renounce not only that, we do the work, but also renounce the attachment to the fruit. We are not aspiring after the fruit of that work. His renunciation is said to be in the mode of goodness. So how does it work for a regular person? For a regular, this Bhagavad Gita is applicable to all devotees, non-devotees, everyone. One only have to follow it, apply it. So the person who has not been associating with the devotees or not has yet come into contact with devotees, not been chanting, so you can call him as a materialistic person or a conditioned. We are all conditioned, but for the sake of it. So for that person, how will he look at it? He will look at it only. There are some people who do their duty so diligently that they do it as a matter of duty. And also, that's because something that is being taught these days, don't expect the result, morals, some kind of things will be taught, right? Like they get it somehow. So they renounce all the association and attachment to the fruit, just give it up, the fruit. Such renunciation, it's still in the mode of goodness. So this can be applied to people, but for them it becomes very hard because there is the higher consciousness is not there, higher taste is not there. Anytime they can give it up, they can become attached. Either they might not do as a matter of duty, they might do with an attachment to some result. It is very hard for any person. But if you look at the same thing for a devotee also works. A regular man also works in the office. A devotee also works. What's the difference? Devotee is working, thinking this is my service to the Lord. I'm doing it as my service to the Lord, not only as my duty, but as my service to the Lord. And the other person might give up the results. Okay, whatever comes, I'll just take it. But what does a Krishna conscious devotee do? He will act, whatever result comes, he'll offer it back to the Lord. So for him, he does the service, he does the work as a service, and also offers the result back to the Lord. So there is this, that's the prescribed duties must be performed with this mentality. This is how it has to be done. One should act without attachment for the result. He should be disassociated from the modes of work. A man working in Krishna consciousness in a factory does not associate himself with the work of the factory, nor with the workers of the factory. He simply works for Krishna. And when he gives up, the result for Krishna is acting transcendentally. So that's transcendental. When we give up the results, when we work for Krishna and also give up the results and offer them to Krishna. That is transcendental. Otherwise, it's right now in the mode of goodness. Like you can give it up, but it's very hard. It's very troublesome because something need to be there. Some feedback has to be given. Someone has to say that, okay, you're doing good. You have given up the result. There is attachment to that also. There should be something, some validation by someone. Otherwise, it's too hard. Such people, it might be very hard to find such people. But if for a devotee, it will become easy. That's why add Krishna. Do whatever you are doing, add Krishna in your life. That's the instruction. Anju sorry, Mataji, would you like to read?
Me, Mataji? Okay. Text 10. Na deshti kushalam karma kushle na anushjayate tyagi sattva samavishta medhavi chinsanshayam. Na, never. Devashti hates akushlam, inauspicious, karma, work, kushle, in the auspicious, na, nor, anujayate, becomes attached, tyagi, the renouncer, sattva, the in goodness, samavishta, absorbed, medhavi, intelligent, Chinna, having cut off samshayam, all doubts. The intelligent renouncer, situated in the mode of goodness, neither hateful of inauspicious work nor attached to auspicious work, has no doubts about work. Purport. A person in Krishna consciousness or in the mode of goodness does not hate anyone or anything which troubles his body. He does work in the proper place and at the proper time without fearing the troublesome effects of his duty. Such a person situated in transcendence should be understood to be most intelligent and beyond all doubts in his activities. Hare Krishna.
So a person in Krishna consciousness or in the mode of goodness, it can be equated, right? Because that's the if you are in the mode of goodness, that's that person. If imagine if a person is doing all this, becoming doing only as a matter of duty and not aspiring for the results, he is ready for devotion because his heart has become so conducive to accept the devotional teachings. That's the mode of goodness. So in this case, Prabhupada is interchangeably calling a person in Krishna consciousness or in a mode of goodness. In this verse, Krishna is explaining that such a person does not hate an auspicious work or inauspicious work, has no doubts about his work. So auspicious means kushala. Kushala means like all good. Kushalam, right? Kushala is auspicious. Akushala means inauspicious. Like taking a bath in the summer, cold bath in the summers. That is kushala. It's easy, right? It's nice to do. The same thing if you want to do in winters, that becomes akushala, right? It becomes hard. So this person neither hates nor becomes attached to the kushalam or akushalam. Such person has no doubts about the work. Okay, so that means he just does not because there is a higher taste. Why do we take showers in the morning? So that he can go take darshan of the Lord. But if a person was doing in the mode of goodness as a matter of duty, he might also do, but there is no higher taste for him. But for a devotee, there is a higher taste. He is aspiring to take the darshan of the Lord, do his services in the morning. So for him, there's no auspicious, no inauspicious. He just does it for the pleasure of Krishna. And there is no doubt about that work. So he will not consider whether I should do this because it is inauspicious, or should I not do it because it is should I do it because it is inauspicious, not it was auspicious, or should not do it as because it is inauspicious. He will not consider that. He'll just do it because the higher taste is there. He will go and take darshan of the Lord, do his services for the Lord. So that is this verse. Moving to text 11. Gauri Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Text 11. Nahi deha bhrata sakhyam tyaktum karmani asheshatah yastu karma phalatyagi satyagiti abhidayate. No, never. He certainly, deha bhrata, by the embodied, sakhyam is possible. Shakyam is possible. Tyaktum, to be renounced. Karmani, activities. Asheshata, altogether. Yaha, anyone who. To, but. Karma of work. Phala of the result. Tyagi of the renouncer. Saha, he. Tyagi, the renouncer. Iti, thus. Abhidiyate is said. It is indeed impossible for an embodied being to give up all activities. But one who renounces the fruits of action is called one who has truly renounced. Purport. It is said in Bhagavad Gita that one can never give up work at any time. Therefore, he who works for Krishna and does not enjoy the fruitive results, who offers everything to Krishna, is actually a renouncer. There are many members of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness who work very hard in their office or in the factory or some other place, and whenever they earn, they give to the society. Such highly elevated souls are actually sannyasis and are situated in the renounced order of life. It is clearly outlined here how to renounce the fruits of work and for what purpose fruits should be renounced.
Hare Krishna. So, this particular point, it is indeed impossible for an embodied being to give up all activities, but he who renounces the fruits of action is called one who has truly renounced. So it is indeed impossible for an embodied being to give up all activities. Where did Krishna say this point earlier? Anybody remembers? Krishna says in the third chapter, Karma Yoga. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtanti akarmakrit. There is not even for a second an embodied being can be without doing any work. Not even for a second. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi. Kshanam means a second. So not even for a second one can be not doing any work because they have their moods. They act in their moods. Not doing work is also a type of mode. If one person is like, I don't want to do anything else, well, that is a mode of ignorance. He's lazy. So that's why he's doing that. One who's very passionate, wants to do so many things, very passionate. Goodness also they do it in a goodness mood. So Krishna has already explained that this is not possible for an embodied being to give up all activities, not even for a second. But doing work is not there is no negotiation in this. One has to do the work. But what is negotiable is how one can take the results. He who renounces the fruits of action is called who is truly renounced. So this part is non-negotiable. This part, when you give up for the pleasure of Krishna, that person is a truly renunciate. Is a true renunciate. So already it is said in Bhagavad Gita, one can never give up work at any time. Therefore, he who works for Krishna and does not enjoy the fruitive results, who offers everything to Krishna, is actually renouncer. This is the true renouncer, not the one that does not work or not the one who enjoys the results. There are many members of International Society for Krishna Consciousness who work very hard in their office or in the factory or some other place, and whatever they earn, they give to the society. Such highly elevated souls are actually sannyasis and are situated in the renounced order of life. So this renounced order of life can be for sannyasis or also grihasthas in that spirit of renunciation. If they are grihasthas, they are taking whatever is required for their family maintenance, and the rest they are offering in service to the Lord. They're also sannyasis. They may not be by the dress sannyasis, but by the spirit sannyasis. It is clearly outlined here how to renounce the fruits of work and for what purpose fruit should be renounced. How to is to give up the results, and for what purpose? For the pleasure of Krishna. Vanati Mataji, you want to read the 12th?
Yeah, Mataji. अनिष्टम् इष्टं मिश्रं च त्रिविधं कर्मणः फलं भवति अत्यागिना प्रेत्य न तु सन्न्यासिनां क्वचित्. Synonyms: Anishtam, leading to hell; Ishtam, leading to heaven; Mishram, mixed; Cha, and Trividam, all three kinds; Karmanaha, of work; Phalam, the result; Bhavati, comes; Atyaginam, for those who are not renounced; Pratya, after death; Na, not; Tu, but; Sannyasina, for the renounced order; Kvachit, at any time. Translation: For one who is not renounced, the threefold fruits of action, desirable, undesirable, and mixed, accrue after death. But those who are in the renounced order of life have no such result to suffer or enjoy. Purport: A person in Krishna consciousness acting in knowledge of his relationship with Krishna is always liberated. Therefore, he does not have to enjoy or suffer the result of his acts after death. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So one who is not renounced, that means he is attached to the good results, also bad results and mixed results. So what does it happen? What happens to him? He will take another birth to enjoy or suffer, or both. So that is the one who has not renounced the threefold fruits of action, desirable or undesirable. They will accrue the karma, the reaction, and enjoy it in the reap to that in the next life. But for the renounced order who has renounced the results, he's liberated because he has offered to Krishna such results. There is nothing that is, this is a karma. All these are, this is karma, vikarma, sakama karma, and this is akarma. There is no karma here because there is no, everything is done for Krishna. Okay. Who else to read? Fateh Prabhu is there?
Mataji, actually today he's not here.
Okay. 13. So this section finished. The karma bondage section finished. So we are going to go to the next section. That is very interesting section. Section 2, which is the 5 factors of action. After explaining so much on karma, renunciation, tyaga, and everything, Krishna is speaking about the. So, in this situation, Arjuna could have asked a question like, I will give up auspicious results as well as inauspicious results. So, for that reason only, he explained that 11th and the 12th verses. Before he can, when we say Kushalam, Akushalam, after hearing that, Arjuna might have a doubt, like, why are we doing it? Like, Kushalam, Akushalam, let me just give up. That is what he was telling, right? Giving reasons not to fight. Thinking it is Akushalam, does not want to fight. Even if it is Kushalam, I don't want to enjoy. That is what he's telling. But Krishna took care of that by answering that it is required that no one can be without a work for even for a second, or that's not embodied soul cannot be doing no work at any point. It has to be done, but renunciation is important. Now, after explaining all that, what is all this about karma, the action? Now, he will explain the 5 factors involved in action. It's not just we do our work. We do our work, but what else the other things that are involved in that work? That's what he's explaining in the 13 to 17 section. Okay. Panchaitani mahabaho karanani nibodh me sankhye kritante proktani siddhe sarva karmanam. Synonyms: Pancha, 5, etani, these, mahabaho, almighty armed word, karanani, causes, nibodha, just understand, me, from me, sankhye, in the Vedanta, krita ante, in the conclusion, proktani, said, siddhaye, for the perfection, sarva, of all, karmanam, activities. Translation: O mighty armed Arjuna, according to the Vedanta, there are 5 causes for the accomplishment of all action. Now, learn of these from me. So, it's just giving some information that, O mighty armed Arjuna. Okay, let's see the pattern. A question may be raised that since any activity performed must have some reaction, how is it that the person in Krishna consciousness does not suffer or enjoy the reactions of work? The Lord is citing Vedanta philosophy to show how this is possible. He says there are 5 causes of all activities, and for success in all activity, one should consider these 5 causes. Sankhya means the stock of knowledge, and Vedanta is the final stock of knowledge, accepted by all leading acharyas. Even Shankara accepts Vedanta Sutra as such. Therefore, such authority should be consulted. The ultimate control is invested in the super soul. As it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarvasya chaham hridisannivishtaha, is engaging everyone in certain activities by reminding him of his past actions. And Krishna conscious acts done under his direction from within yield no reaction, either in this life or in the next life or in the life after death. So, this is just an instructive. All verses are instructive, but this is mostly on information. O mighty Arjuna, according to the Vedanta, there are 5 causes for the accomplishment of action. There are 5 factors that cause some action to happen. Now learn that. So Prabhupada is quoting the Vedanta philosophy and also the Sankhya philosophy, how it is all done. Sankhya means the stock of knowledge. It's a knowledge. Vedanta is the final stock of knowledge. This is, Sankhya is in part of Vedanta. Vedanta is all encompassing knowledge. Even Shankara accepts. Okay, therefore, so he's trying to bring everyone into the fold, not just the devotees. Shankara means Shankarite followers also, because they might see that they might want to give up. Why Prabhupada is quoting this particular is that there is nothing in this world. Just give up everything. This is what the monists. Monists are those who say everything is Jagat. What is that? Jagat Mithya. Jagat Mithya. That is what they say, right? It's all illusion. That's why don't do work. That is, so that's the monism, right? But that is sometimes they are Shankara followers. So to pacify such people or to enlighten such people, as Krishna is enlightening Arjuna with this statement, he is also, Prabhupada is also enlightening those people that Vedanta Sutra, which is the all-encompassing knowledge, Sankhya is a part of it. All this is accepted by Shankara also. Therefore, such authority should be consulted. So, everyone go to their respective authorities. Bhaktas can go to Vedas and go to their gurus to understand it. And Shankara followers who think that everything Jagat Mithyam, they can also refer to this Vedanta Sutras and understand that there is authority, everyone has to follow that authority. So, yeah. And Krishna is ultimate, is a super soul. And he says in Bhagavad Gita, this verse comes later on, but let's not talk about that for now. Yeah, this is that verse. Who wants to read? Anyone wants to read? Vanti, Gauri Mataji? Gauri Mataji, are you good to read?
Yes, I can read, Mataji.
Yes, please read.
Verse 18.4 Adhishtanam tatha karta karanam cha prithagvidham vividascha prithak chesta daivam chaiva atra panchamam. Synonyms: Adhishtanam, the place; Tatha, also; Karta, the worker; Karanam, instruments; Cha, and; Prithak Vedam, of different kinds; Vividha, various; Cha, and; Prithak, separate; Cheshtaha, the endeavors; Daivam, the supreme; Cha, also; Eva, certainly; Atra, here; Panchamam, five, the fifth. The place of the action, the body, the performer, the various senses, the many different kinds of endeavors, and ultimately the super soul. These are the five factors of action. Purport: the word adhishtanam refers to the body. The soul within the body is acting to bring about the results of activity and therefore known as karta, the doer. That soul is known as is the knower and the doer. That the soul is the knower and the doer is stated in the Shruti. Esha hi Grishta Shastra, Prashna Upanishad 4.9. It is also confirmed in the Vedanta Sutra by the verses Nyotya Eva 2.3.18 and Kartas Shastrarthavat 2.3.33. The instruments of action are the senses, and by the senses the soul acts in various ways. For each and every action there is a different endeavor, but all one's activities depend on the will of the super soul, who is seated within the heart as a friend. The Supreme Lord is the super cause. Under these circumstances, he who is acting in Krishna consciousness under the direction of the super soul situated within the heart is naturally not bound by any activity. Those in complete Krishna consciousness are not ultimately responsible for their actions. Everything is dependent on the supreme will, the super soul, the supreme personality of Godhead.
Hare Krishna. So 18, 14, this verse. Can memorize also if you want. Adhishtanam tata karta karanam cha pratakvidam vividascha pratakcheshta daivam chaivatra panchamam. So these are the 5 factors. In this section, Krishna is speaking about the 5 factors, right? So these are the 5 factors. First is Adhishtana. Adhishtanam is the body, the field of activities. Our body is the field of activity. Through the body only we do various types of activities. So that is Adhishtana. Then Tata Karta. Karta is the one who does the work, the worker, we, ourselves. Karanam, the various senses. Okay. Karanam is instruments. Pratak Vidam are of different kinds. Vivida, various. Pratak Cheshta. The senses are important. Okay. Karta Karanam. Karanam is the one that we use our senses in the work. Senses is our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and touch. So what are the factors that has happened? The body. The performer is the self, which is the soul. We have a body and we are the soul inside the body, right? So these are two separate. So the self and the body and the senses. We have our senses and many different kinds of endeavors. The endeavors are our motivations or our work itself. That's our consciously we want to do something. That is our endeavor, right? You understand this word, endeavor, cheshta. Cheshta is the work that we execute and ultimately the super soul. So all these can be, for any work to happen, these are all the immediate causes, right? You need a body. Your body has to be there to do the work. Without the body, you cannot do anything. And then we should be alive also to do that. So that is the self. And we have to have all our senses in good function. And we need to endeavor to do that. So these are all immediate. Like without these, nothing can happen. But these are not the only things. The final thing or the ultimate thing, cause of all causes, is the super soul. He will sanction. Even you may have all these immediate reasons, but without the absolute reason, absolute cause, nothing can happen. So for everything that has to happen in the world, all these 5 factors are involved. So people may say, bad things happen to good people. So Lord is sanctioning it, right? Lord is sanctioning because Lord finally has to sanction it. He has to put his stamp, otherwise it won't happen. So sometimes there might be bad things happening to good people. Some bodies are used to do bad activities. The body, the person his endeavors are so bad endeavors, and the senses are involved in doing that. But finally, the super soul has to sanction it. Why it is happening? It is happening because this is all part of the material creation. Everyone, his cheshtas are motivated by his karma, by his previous actions, and what he has learnt in this life. So those are the things that are coming at play. Some person doing theft, okay, is bribe or is trying to steal something. So this is coming from his vasanas. Endeavors are, it could be anything. Like it's his, he has done this in previous life and it is coming back to him because of remember the last verse where Krishna, in the purport Prabhupada is saying, it is coming because of Krishna giving him a remembrance and forgetfulness. That is 15.15th verse. Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto. So everything comes from the super soul. Without super soul, nothing, we won't get anything. Like we can't remember on our own. Super soul has to give that understanding not to do something good. So super soul has to give something understanding to go ahead and do that bad thing also. Because it comes from him, everything comes from him. And how these endeavors are manifesting? Because of this worker's previous activities or previous karmas or his desires, everything that is included in this. It's various kinds, different kinds of endeavors. previous actions, impressions, whatever, like everything included. And his senses, very, very attached to doing something gross, for example. And the performer is there and the body is there. All these are at play. And finally, without Krishna's sanction, they can't happen. Krishna sanctions. So there is a difference between Krishna's sanction and Krishna's will. Krishna has to sanction everything. Without Krishna's sanction, not even a blade of grass moves in the entire universe. That is there. But is Krishna willing it? Probably not. Krishna will not will someone to do bad actions. But because this is all happening as part of material nature, he sanctions it um, as a representative. He might not be personally involved in it. Like his super soul does it. The one that is inside our body will sanction it. But Krishna wants something to happen, he wills it. Like he has willed that the Arjuna, the Pandavas go to exile, go through that. That is his will, because that's a pastime. It has happened under his direction. And he also went there to comfort them, all that. So his devotees have gone through so much of suffering under his will, just to teach the world that my devotees also go through, but they will not make any fuss about it. They will not complain. They will do it very happily for my pleasure. That is to show to the world, my devotees are such exalted people. So it can be in that way. It can be to teach someone something. When Krishna wills, it happens like that. But Krishna sanctions everything that is happening in the universe. If you have any questions, we can pause it a bit here, because this is an important topic as well. If there are any questions someone is having, then we can take it up. Okay, now then we'll move on. 15th verse. Vaniti Mataji, please read.
Mataji. शरीरमान्मनो भिद्य कर्म प्रराभते नरः न्यायं वा विपरीतं वा पाञ्चैते तस्य हेतवः. Synonyms: Sharira by the body, Vak speech, Manobhihi by the mind, Yat which, Karma work, Prarabhate begins, Naraha a person, Nyayam right, Va or Viparitam the opposite, Va or Pancha 5, Ete all these, Tasya it is, Hetavaha causes. Translation: whatever right or wrong action a man performs by body, mind, or speech is caused by these 5 factors. The word right and wrong are very significant in this verse. Right work is work done in terms of the prescribed descriptions in the scriptures, and wrong work is a work done against the principles of the scriptural injunctions. But whatever is done requires these 5 factors for its complete performance. Hare Krishna.
So Krishna is speaking the same, whatever we just discussed, right and wrong. Some people do the right thing, for which 5 factors are required. For wrong thing also 5 factors are required. So the 5 factors which are involved in the wrong thing is not just because of super soul. There are various types of endeavors, cheshtas are there. And some of them are based on the scriptural injunctions, those cheshtas, some of them are not. So all that is included. 16. Veena Mataji, do you want to read?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yeah, sure. Thank you. 18-16 verse. Tatraivam sati kartaram atmanam kevalam tuyah pasyati akrita buddhitvan nasa pasyati durmatihi. Synonyms: tatra, there, evam, thus, sati, being, kartaram, the worker, atmanam, himself, kevalam, only, two, but, yaha, anyone who, pasyati, sees, akrita buddhivat, due to unintelligence, na never, saha he pasyati, sees dharmitihi, foolish. Translation. Therefore, one who thinks himself the only doer, not considering the five factors, is certainly not very intelligent and cannot see things as they are. Purport. A foolish person cannot understand that the supersoul is sitting as a friend within and conducting his actions. Although the material causes are the place, the worker, the endeavor, and the senses, the final cause is the supreme, the personality of Godhead. Therefore, one should see not only the four material causes, but the supreme efficient cause as well. One who does not see the supreme thinks himself to be the doer. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we should always consider these five factors are at play all the time. But if one thinks that, okay, I am only the doer, this is the problem, right? When we say, I am doing it. So what are we doing? There is nothing that we are doing on our own. Even if we have to offer something to the Lord, out of the Lord's creation only, we are making something and offering it to Him with pride. So if we do that, then what are we of? There is nothing belongs to us as such. Everything belongs to the Lord. From the Lord's creation, we have got something under our quota. We are using that quota to give it back to the Lord. So, and if we do that with pride, saying that I am doing it, then it's unintelligent person. An intelligent person thinks that everything belongs to the Lord. I have been assigned to this quota. I will use it in the Lord's service. I will use it for my maintenance as well as in the service of the Lord. That maintenance also belongs to the Lord for the service of the Lord, for His pleasure. Then he is an intelligent person. Like, therefore, one who thinks himself the only doer, not considering the five factors, is certainly not very intelligent and cannot see things as they are. Is not intelligent. Yasya naha 17. Yasya nahankrito bhavo buddhiryasya na lipyate atvapi sa imal lokan nahanti na nibhadnyate. Synonyms: Yasya, one whose, na, never, ahankritaha, of false ego, bhavaha, nature, buddhihi, intelligence, yasya, one whose, na, never, lipate, is attached, hatva, killing, api, even, saha, he, iman, this, lokan, world, na, never, hanti, kills, na, never, nibhadhyate, becomes entangled. Translation: one who is not motivated by false ego, whose intelligence is not entangled, though he kills men in this world, does not kill, nor he is bound by his actions. Purport. In this verse, the Lord informs Arjuna that the desire not to fight arises from false ego. Arjuna, though, thought himself to be the doer of action, but he did not consider the supreme sanction within and without. If he does not know that a super sanction is there, why should he act? But one who knows the instruments of work, himself as a worker, and the Supreme Lord as a supreme sanctioner, is present in doing everything. Such a person is never an illusion. Personal activity and responsibility arise from false ego and godlessness, or a lack of Krishna consciousness. Anyone who is acting in Krishna consciousness under the direction of the Super Soul or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even though killing, does not kill, nor is he ever affected by the reaction of such killing. When soldier kills under the command of a superior officer, he is not subject to be judged. But if a soldier kills on his own personal account, then he is certainly judged by the court of law. So clear, right? It's people, how they can misinterpret this particular verse and say it is there in Bhagavad Gita, killing is sanctioned, killing is allowed. Some other religions probably look at such verses in Bhagavad Gita and say this is allowed. But the various cheshtas have to be backed up by the scriptures, right? Performer is there, soul is there inside the body, your senses are active, you want to do this. Super soul is also sanctioning because everything is covered in this matter. It's covered consciousness. So as part of that, he's sanctioned because nothing moves again. His endeavors, are they backed up by scriptures? No, they are not backed up. Similarly, just like a soldier kills on the battlefield, he is not convicted for that, because he's doing his duty, because that the scripture is he has to do his duty as a soldier, so he's not convicted. But if the same soldier takes a gun and goes onto the street and starts killing people, he will also be killed as a punishment. He'll be convicted, because this is not injunction. This is not way in the scripture that he has to go and, because he's a soldier, because he has a gun, he can go and kill people. That is not. So it should be taken up based on the. So that's why we need, for Bhagavad Gita to be understood, they need to approach a guru. They need to approach Prabhupada's as it is. If you just read this verse on its own, it might give it to them that they can do it. Killing is allowed. But when you read it in the sequence, in the light of the entire instructions given as well as the purport, then there is no doubt at all. There is no ambiguity. So it cannot be taken up like that. So he should not subject. It cannot be. So this is, so if you put your ego there, I have done this, my creation, then is born by his actions. So if you remove this killing business also, this is for Arjuna, because Arjuna, Krishna is giving instructions to Arjuna. So this is only one verse that's directly hinted to Arjuna. But otherwise, if you remove that part and say, if he's not motivated, I am doing this, whose intelligence is not entangled, who's not motivated by his false ego, he's not bound by any actions. Any work, not just for a soldier killing on the battlefield, any work like that. Next. Amrita Ganga Mataji, are you in a position to read?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah.
Text 18.
Mm.
Jnanam gyam parigyata trividha karma chodhana karanam karma karteti trividha karma sangraha. Jnanam, knowledge. Gyam, the objective of knowledge. Parijyata, the knower. Trividha, of three kinds. Karma, of work. Chodhana, the impetus. Karanam, the senses. Karma, the work. Karta, the doer. Iti, thus. Trividha, of three kinds. Karma, of work. Sangraha, the accumulation. Knowledge, the object of knowledge, and the knower are the three factors that motivate action. The senses, the work, and the doer are the three constituents of actions. Purport: there are three kinds of impetus for daily work: knowledge, the object of knowledge, and the knower. The instrument of work, the work itself, and the worker are called the constituents of work. Any work done by any human being has these elements. Before one acts, there is some impetus, which is called inspiration. Any solution arrived at before work is actualized is a subtle form of work. Then work takes the form of action. First, one has to undergo the psychological processes of thinking, feeling, and willing, and that is called impetus. The inspiration to work is the same if it comes from the scripture or from the instruction of the spiritual master. When the inspiration is there and the worker is there, then actual activity takes place by the help of the senses, including the mind, which is the center of all senses. The sum total of all constituents of an activity are called the accumulation of work. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we finished that section, the 5 factors. Let me share the screen again for the next section. The verse which we read is that next section. Okay, the 5 factors, Karta, Karanam, all that Adhishtanam, we finished that up until 17. Now 18 onwards to 40. It's a very big section. Okay. The modes control all activities and all beings. So the modes. So he's speaking, this is all the last 6 chapters, like last 5 chapters, which come the modes of material nature. This is from the beginning sections of Bhagavad Gita. Now this is from the later sections of Bhagavad Gita, which is the field of activities, the 13th chapter, nature and joy consciousness, 14th chapter, the three modes of material natures. All these are guided for the human beings, right? They control all activities and all human beings, all types of human beings. So that is the section 40, 18 to 40. So that will go for a few weeks, 18 to 40. Now coming back to the verse, I think today this will be the last verse. Yeah, 18th verse. So these are the modes of activities for all beings. Now, this topic has slightly changed, right? The modes of the activities. The knowledge, the object of knowledge, and the knower are the three factors that motivate the action. So for a work to happen, motivation has to be there. And how that motivation is guided? By the knowledge that they have read something, they have understood something, and the object of the knowledge. Who is the object of the knowledge? Is the Krishna object of the knowledge or yourself? That is that. And the knower is one who understands. Knowledge is the knowledge, the one that you gain in your heart and mind. Knower is this person. And the object is to whom this knowledge is guided to or directed to, the object of knowledge. So these are three factors that motivate the action. Okay, you want to do, it starts with a simple idea. Oh, there is an idea. I want to do something. So the idea is that knowledge, small impetus, small inspiration. And why are we doing that? For whose pleasure? That will define based on what you are doing. And the knower is the one who got that knowledge, the person. These are the motivations. Now the senses, the work, and the doer are the three constituents of action. The senses are again our senses, the five senses, the work itself, and the doer are the constituents of action. So for any action to happen, again Krishna is explaining, now he's going to talk about the modes, right? So there is again bringing us to the point that motivation is needed and the action is needed. Motivation comprises of these three factors. Action comprises of these three factors. The senses are to be involved. The doer has to be involved. The work is required, the endeavors. Okay. So there are three kinds of impetus for daily work. Knowledge and object of knowledge and the knower. The instruments of work, the work itself, and the worker are called instruments of work. Any work done by any human being has these elements. Elements of knowledge and the elements of work. Before one acts, there is some impetus, which is called inspiration. Any solution arrived at work, before work is actualized in a subtle form of work. Then work takes the form of action. So this is a conceptual thing. The knowledge part is a conceptual. Motivation and all is still in the theory. It's in the concepts. It is in our mind. I have a motivation to do. I need to execute it. So when I execute it, it becomes an action based on this motivation, which is called inspiration. Any solution arrived at before work is actualized in a subtle form of work. Then work takes the form of action. First, when one has to undergo the psychological process of thinking, feeling, and willing, that is called impetus. The inspiration to work is the same if it comes from the scripture or from the authority, spiritual master. When the inspiration is there, the worker is there. And the worker is there, the actual activity takes place with the help of senses, including the mind, which is center of all. Sum total of all constituents of an activity is called accumulation of work. Clear? Any doubts on this?
Mataji, one doubt, like
Yes.
this endeavor or the motivation, right? So that is provided by super soul. That is sanctioned by the super soul, or that is in
That
the
comes from
individual.
the knowledge and remembrance. Sarvasya Chaham 15:15. Krishna gives that motivation based on your work that you have continued to do in all your life, in previous lives. If a person is a thief, his motivations are to do stealing, right? How is he coming up with that motivation? Because he has done that. He has developed that kind of knowledge. And because Krishna gives knowledge and remembrance and forgetfulness, that inspiration is getting in his heart. Okay? That inspiration is getting, that person I want to do robbery is getting in his heart. And based on what? Based on the knowledge that he has acquired from previous lifetimes and he knows about it, and he is the owner for that. He is an object of knowledge is not Krishna here, because there is no scriptural injunction for him to steal. So it is self-motivated in the sense like it is object, it's oriented towards him. But nothing comes to anyone without the super soul's inspiration. That is also there. Because there is nothing in this world other than Krishna and Krishnas. There are only two things in the entire world. One is Krishna, the other is Krishnas, means apostrophe S. Everything belongs to Krishna. Even the worker in who has the person who has done theft in his last lives, so many lifetimes, is also Krishna's. He belongs to Krishna's creation only. So there's nothing beyond him. So inspiration also comes from the super soul. So he gets the super soul. Yeah, your question, did I interrupt?
Yes, no, Mataji, yes, I got it, but then again I have confusion. Like, then why can't Krishna like make everyone good? Is it because material world people have to? There
Yes,
will be
that's a
different type. Is
classic
that?
question. That is the classic question. You're at the right time to ask that classic. So why do Krishna give us this? Why can't he make it good for everyone? Why does he put people in bad situation, or why does he give inspiration to steal, to kill someone?
Yeah.
That is a question, right? So there is something called free will, right? Have you heard about that? Free will, independence, minute, it's a small amount. You have a choice not to do it, yet you want to do it. That is your choice. That choice, Krishna leaves it to the individuals. He does not want to take control of that choice.
Oh,
He does not
okay.
take, because love is unconditional. If someone is loving Krishna, Krishna does not want him to control that love. He wants, he likes it that way. Because you want, do you want to control your child and only make him to love you because no, you have to love me? That have to, when it comes, there's no choice, right? So he loves you out of his own feeling of love. So similarly, Krishna wants each of us to come to him on our own accord. He does not want to force on anybody. If it forces, then there is no love. Like you have to do whatever I tell you to do. Where is the love in it? Krishna, after telling the entire Bhagavad Gita, also gives choice to Arjuna. Although he tells there is what happens if he doesn't follow, also he tells. But finally, the key is, he leaves the key with you. It's up to you. Whatever I have told you is this, the facts. If you don't do also, what is going to happen also, he clearly laid out. But finally, he gave the key back to Arjuna, saying, you decide. You want to do or not. This is what Krishna conscious. This is what Krishna's nature is. That is his nature. He does not want to control. So if someone wants to, so what is the way out then, right? What is the way out? The way out is Guru Sadhu. Shastra is given. Shastras are very clearly laid out. You should not harm others. You should not kill someone. You should not steal others' property. That is the Shastra. Guru is there to guide right or wrong. And sadhus are also there to guide right or wrong. So all these factors are there. He gives those factors as well as he gives you independence. Now you decide what you want.
Okay. So yeah, we know like when we do something, it is it is right or wrong. We know like some things it's right or wrong. So sometimes okay.
That
Then we
inspiration.
decide.
Yeah, then you decide, right? When you know that inspiration comes, probably this is not right. Maybe we should not. In that case, you should not do. But if you do it, so first time the thief will steal a small thing, like maybe not of much value. Even though it was not of a much value, the inspiration is set in his mind. He has the inspiration now. That inspiration can come out again because all that is stored in his knowledge. That knowledge he has developed, that he has stolen, and he has got the knowledge. Next time also he'll get the same situation where he can steal, or will he be obliged or not obliged. He will be brought to a point where he can steal. But at that time also he has a choice. He should not, it will be hard for him because once he has already stolen, that it becomes easy, becomes like a easy thing for him to steal. But if he controls using Guru's instruction, or if he approaches a sadhu and asks him, that's why we in life we need guidance at every step. That is importance of the Guru and the sadhu. Guidance is required. We don't know what is right, what is not right. The Guru knows based on the experience. Sadhu knows based on the scriptural study he has done. So always take guidance at every step. Bhagavad Gita cannot be learned on their own. We have to learn through the medium of a Guru. Prabhupada has given us the purports. There are a lot of teachers who have spoken, explained the knowledge. We're just repeating what we have learned. Nothing on my own that I'm saying. It's all the knowledge that we have heard. So it has to be learned in that way. So at every step, you need to take guidance. Is it right or wrong? So if at one time you take that guidance, then that if you have to stick to that guidance, then your elevation happens. You approached a person, you took the instruction, still you do whatever you want to do. Choice is yours. This person who has done stealing of money, he might have taken some instruction and the person might have told him not to do, but still he goes and does stealing. What happens? He is only developing his knowledge, more stealing, more different ways of stealing. Next time, third time, fourth time, continues to do. So what happens? It becomes his second nature. Then he will go do bigger things. So where is Krishna still? Krishna has already given the first inclination not to do. Our heart knows, our soul, super soul guides from the beginning, inside the heart. That inspiration comes from within the heart, as you have said, right? First time you'll know whether it is right or wrong. If you ignore and continue to do, then that becomes your nature. That becomes easy. I think
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Any other thoughts or comments or questions? Otherwise, we'll pause. For the day, we'll continue at 19. Thank you very much. Vanchakalpatarubhishcha kripasindhubhyo
Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namah.
Antakoti Vaishnava ki jai.
Ki Jai.